Hey guys, I'm back with the wait. Oh, bah. Anyways, hey guys, I'm back with another motherfucking YouTube video. You already know how to fucking is. And so this third time video is a little weird, a little crazy, but you already know I'm the craziest bitch you ever seen on your YouTube screen, I guess, because you know. Today I'm gonna be talking about a story time that y'all gonna be like, what the fuck, Ellen? Why would you get yourself in this situation? Like, don't you know better? And bitch, I don't know better. I really don't know. I really don't know better. Sorry, I keep looking over here because I have a camera now. I actually finally upgraded to a camera. But it's kind of weird because like there's like a little lens right here so I can see myself, which I'm looking at. But I need to like look at you guys. So I'm gonna try looking at you guys. But if my eyes just starts turning over there, just continue watching, okay? Okay. Who are you? Who are we? We're that bitch, and that's all my viewers who are watching me right now. Okay, continue with your eyes over here. Okay, so yeah, so this video is about my first ever Grindr experience or Grindr meetup, Grindr date, whatever the case may be. It gets crazy. So first and foremost, for those who don't know what Grindr is like a weird. Back then, it was supposedly like back when I first started using it. It was supposedly like a gay dating website or apps, whatever, for like people to find love. But slowly, it started becoming into like some hookup app. Like literally, everyone on that app is on there like, I want to fuck pussy and you know give me your boy pussy. Like everyone's so aggressive on fucking Grindr, and it's fucking weird, you know. Back then it used to be really popular. I mean, I think people still use it, but I went on it last time, and there's a lot of guys who are only interested in transgender people. Like that's where if you want to find your ideal boyfriend, that's where you're gonna find him. Okay. But anyways, so yeah, that's what Grindr is for those people who are living under a rock. So okay, let's get started. So I joined this Grindr app when I was about 15, 16. The Grindr app, you're only allowed to use it when you're 18. But I was a horny teenager. I was a little I was curious. I was, you know, I was just having daddy issues. So I was on Grindr, and how Grindr works is like it literally tells you how far people are from you. You know, if the people who are close to you and they message you, you message them to see if you want to hang out, hook up, go on a date, whatever the case may be. It literally tells you, like, if your neighbor next door is on Grindr, or if your freaking friend from fucking ACO or from the other side of the world is on Grindr. Like, nobody is safe on Grindr, like, unless you don't have pictures. So this guy, he swiped up. I mean, he tapped me. You know how on Grindr, I mean on Tinder you tap too. Well, on Grindr you tap too. Okay. So this guy, he taps me, and on his profile picture he looked pretty cute. I'm like, okay, like, okay, yes, like cute boy. And I was 15, 16, so this motherfucker's a pedophile. So I'm like here thinking like, okay, he's cute, whatever. So we're like chatting it up and everything, and I'm like digging his vibe so far. I'm like, yes, like let's freaking hang out, let's go on a date, let's freaking do stuff. Like, yes, you know. So we continue talking and everything, and at one point, y'all, he sends me D videos, and I'm like, yes. Why am I sharing this kind of information, y'all? This is too much. You are not allowed to be underage on Grindr. You have to be 18, so he probably thought I was 18 at the time. But when I told him I was 15, 16, 17, he still was okay with it. Yeah. So he was still okay with it. So we kept talking and everything, and we decided to meet up. And this took a lot for me because he was the first person I ever met up on Grindr, period. I was always so scared. I was always so, you know, like, obviously it's you just don't want to meet up with strangers from a website. I mean, from an app. So this took a lot for me. I think we were talking for like a good like 2 to 3 months before we actually like started hanging out, you know, or before we actually hung out for the first time. So my boyfriend from Grindr. Anyways, so What was the part I was on? So yeah, we were talking for a couple months already. So I finally decided to meet him up, and I tell my friend about it. I tell her, I was like, hey, like, I want to meet up with some guy in Grindr. I mean, actually, sorry, I didn't tell her it was Grindr back then because I was too like scared to tell him I was actually using Grindr. Because you know how people are when they make fun, like when you tell them you're on a dating website, like they make fun of you. I don't want to get made fun of by my friends because I know that for sure they would make fun of me if I told them I'm using Grindr and meeting up stranger men to hook up with them. Okay, I know they would. So literally, y'all, I met up. Oh, before meeting up with him, I told my friend, I was like, hey, like I'm about to meet up with some guy. Like I met him on Snapchat. I'm such a liar, y'all. I'm a fucking liar. So I tell her, I was like, hey, like, so I'm about to like drop my location to you, and if I send you that emoji SOS, just know that I'm in trouble and you have to call the cops because I'm doing stupid decisions. um, so finally he like we meet up and I get in his car and I did not give him my address. One thing about Grindr is I would never give anybody my personal address. I always give them my neighbor's address. So we meet up and he is the person that is on his pictures. Luckily, you know, he was handsome, you know. And we were just talking. I was so shy, y'all. Like, I was so nervous, so shy. I was thinking a lot at the time. I was like, this dude's probably gonna kidnap me. I don't really go on Grindr dates like this, like, you know. And you know, you guys know what the sad thing about this, y'all? He took me on a date to McDonald's. But it was a fancy McDonald's. It wasn't just like the one that like next to my house. It was a really fancy McDonald's. I'm not gonna lie, but really, McDonald's do better. So on our way to McDonald's, he's like talking to me and he's like asking me questions, trying to get to know me. And he's like, "You're oddly shy. Like you're not this shy on like when we're conversating and like on the or when we're talking on Grindr and stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's because you know this is my first time and I'm not really, you know, freaky yet." And this is before I even did anything, y'all. This is when I was still a virgin. Like in high school, you know, I didn't lose my virginity until I was like 17, really. So this is before that. So we're getting to this McDonald's that he takes me at, and we're like sitting in the car for a little bit, and he like takes off his seatbelt, and he's like getting ready to like he starts to like pucker up his lip, and he's like literally like about to start kissing me, and I'm like I was so shy, y'all. I was so scared. Like even though he was cute and everything, I was just kind of like, what are you doing? And he's like, so he like opened his eyes and he realized like I wasn't like trying to kiss, and he's like, oh, okay, it's not that kind of date yet. I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, no, that's fine. And then I was like, okay, cool. So then he like takes off. So I take off my seatbelt. I'm like literally looking at my seatbelt, and I look up and I see his lip in my face, and I'm like, bruh, stop. Like, stop. I'm nervous. I'm shy. I'm underage. So I take off my seatbelt. I get out the car. We're in McDonald's, and we're just eating and everything. He's like, we're getting to know each other. He's asking me questions and everything, like mad questions. And I don't ask him any questions. And he's like, why am I asking you so many questions and you're not asking me any questions? And I'm like, okay, like, well, what are you in school for? Like, what is your major? Like, what are you trying to do? And he's like, well, I'm going into school for education, and what school do you go to? And I was like, I go to Adams City High School. And he's like, oh, really? Like, that's where I'm about to teach. And I'm like, excuse me? He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm just now finishing up my degree, and I got a job to be a teacher assistant at your school. And I was like, really? Like, nice. So like now I have a problem because first you're talking to me while I'm underage, 2 you take me to McDonald's, 3 now you're gonna be working at my school. Like, how awkward is that gonna be? So I was just telling him like, hey, when I found out that he was gonna be teaching at my school, y'all, I immediately did not want anything to do with him. Like, I was just kind of like, okay, you know what? I told him straight up. I was like, you know what? Maybe it's just best if we just keep it as friends, because me, you, like Pretty Little Liars vibes. So I thought that was kind of cool. But I was like I said, I was shy back then, so I did not want to go with this because I was scared. So then, so we're like on this date and everything, and you know, like I said, I'm telling him when I'm good. I don't want to be like dating you or having sex with you because I just no. So we're like, okay, cool. So he drops me off back home. I tell my friend, yo, dude, I'm good. I don't need to like turn off my life, like turn off my location. Like I'm good now. A couple months later, I go to a college visit. And this college visit had to be the same college where he was graduating. My camera stopped working for a bit. Bitch. I don't know nothing about cameras. This is my first time using this camera. And it's been stopping, so. Classy. It's like. So yeah, a couple months later, I go to his college for a college visit. And I have him on Snapchat. So I'm here posting it like on Snapchat that I'm at his college. Obviously, I didn't know I was in his college. But he swipes up to my Snapchat and he's like, hey, like, you're at my college, like, do you want to come to my dorm and we can do some stuff while you're in like in the trip? And I was like, ew, but I'm down. So I sneak away from the freaking trip, you know, I go missing somehow, and I go into his dorm, and it is so awkward because again, like, I wasn't really turned off at the fact that he was an adult, even though I should have been. I was more turned off that he was going to be teaching at my school and things could have been gone left if anything happened, you know? So I just decided, fuck it, like, I'm just going to go to his room and just see what happens. I went into his dorm room, y'all. It was so fucking awkward. Like, he was starting to, like, kind of, like, we were just talking at first and I was still frigid and tight and still really, like, don't touch me. So he was trying to like pull a move on me, kind of like started grabbing like my shoulders for some reason, and I was like, you know what? I told him, you know what? My teachers are calling me, even though they don't have my phone number, they're calling me. I gotta go. So I dipped, and that was the end of that for that day. Next semester comes by. Next semester, he is literally the teacher assistant for my fucking classroom, and exactly my computer recovery class, whatever. I don't remember like what the exact class was about, but there was he was the teacher assistant for that class. So I was in a really weird position, y'all. Like, I've deadass felt like Aria from Pretty Little Liars, because like the tension was there, you know. I would pass by him and we would look at each other and like ignore each other, like all like secretly and shit like that. And yeah, it was just really awkward. Like, I remember telling my friends about it. I was like, yo, like, that's the teacher who I almost fucked from Grindr. But nothing really led on between me and him. I mean, he would message me on Snapchat like in between like days and shit like that. He would be like, hey, like, let me help you with your like work, or like, do you need tutoring? Like, he would reach out to me a lot. Like, you know, when I was in class, I was low-key thinking of hooking up with him so I can get a better grade in class. But, you know, I'm classy, sassy, and bougie, so we're not gonna even try to do that, right? We're smart bitches, okay? But we became friends a little. He would swipe up to my, like, the parties I was at and stuff. That he's like, oh, your teens are wild, you know. Like, he would swipe up to my Snapchats. He would give me more attention than I would give him, because I was trying to avoid him, because the more I look at him, the more I thought he was ugly. Years later, I turned 18. I'm finally legal to start dating people who are 18 plus, you know. And he hits me up on Snapchat and he's like, you're finally 18, like, let's do it now. Like, I'm waiting for you. I have months of cum waiting for you. It's like, no, he didn't say that, but it was something like that, you know. So I was like, alright, you know what, like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna finally get out of my shell and go fuck this teacher. Like, fuck it. Anyway, so I'm 18. He hits me up one night and he's like, hey, like, let's go to he's like, hey, come over, like, I have a movie playing on, we can smoke some weed if you like, and whatever the night leads us to. And I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. So I go to his apartment and he's like, yeah, like, I had to move schools eventually because I have found a better job at this different school. They pay me much better, and I actually work with like actual like younger kids. And I'm like, that's concerning. That's really concerning. So we're just like sitting on a couch, and I'm like on the edge of the couch. Like I'm like right here, and he's like on the other side of the edge of the couch, and we're like both like on the other side of the couch, and I'm like here like. I should have not came over there. He's like, what you doing over there? Like all the way over there. Like, come over here. And I was like, you know, like so scared. And he was just like, he like started scooting like closer to me and everything. And I was kind of like, so like just really scared, y'all. And supposedly, you know, I was lucky like trying to like, you know, but he gets close to me. He gets close to me, and eventually he has his hand like on my back, you know, on my shoulders. And I'm just like still there, and like we're like smoking weed. I'm kind of like, okay, at least I get free weed. So eventually he's like, so like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, nothing, really nothing. But eventually he's like, okay, well, let me kiss you. And I'm like, okay. So we started kissing and shit, and y'all, it was the worst kisser ever. Like it was so uncomfortable. I was like legit like with my eyes open still. I was like, what is he doing? Like in my head, you know, I was like, I don't think this is how you kiss, but okay. And he noticed like I was feeling a little bit uncomfortable. He's like, okay, let me kiss you on your neck, you know. And I'm like, okay, sure. So then he starts like going down to my neck, and I had a sweater at the time, like because it was like around the cold times. I had a sweater on, so I was literally like I was letting him like, you know, kiss up on me. But with the sweater, it was covering it. So he was legit, like, kissing on my sweater. Like, he was, like, kissing on my sweater everywhere. And I'm like, that's when I, like, kind of pushed him. I was like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm trying to give you neck kisses. And I was like, where you're not kissing me on my neck. Like, you're not doing it. And then he, like, gets lower to my chest. And he's just, like, making, like, noises with, like noises to my chest. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, and he's like I'm giving you a motorboat. And I'm like, bitch, I don't got boobs. Like, I do, but like not those kinds of boobs. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? So I'm like, no. I was like, no, it's okay. Like, we don't have to fuck. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm good on this. And then he's like, well, why not? I'm like, come on, give me one more chance. And I'm like, no. And then he's like, come on. So I'm like, okay, fine. And then here he goes again, kissing all up on my fucking sweater. And I'm like, all right, you know what? You're done. So I try pushing him off, y'all. He kind of like starts to get a little bit more like aggressive, and he pushes me down. So I was like, all right, I'm about to start swinging on it too, because he is not about to do this. So I literally like pushed him off of me like with all my power, and I'm like, I got up and I was like, we're not gonna do anything. You suck at kissing, you suck at everything, and no, we're not doing this. So, okay, get your shit and just get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, I'm sorry this has happened, but just get out of here. And I'm like, yes, I'm getting out of here, and I'm never contacting you ever again in my life, ever. So the minute I left the apartment, I blocked him on everything, social media, Facebook, anything, anywhere that I could have possibly had his number, everywhere. I just blocked him on there, okay? And yeah, that was my story of my first ever Grindr experience. It was a very scary, sketchy, dumb experience for me to even put myself in that situation. But you know, it's Grindr, so you would just be thinking anything from Grindr. Anything could happen on Grindr, you know. So this is my lesson for y'all. I would suggest not going on Grindr underage, just because like I've seen a lot of kids on Grindr who are underage, and I like tell them like, get off this app, it's not an app to be on. Like, be careful, especially after watching Black Phone. I don't know if y'all have watched Black Phone, but after watching that one, I would for sure tell anybody to not use Grindr. I'm not on Grindr no more. I don't use Grindr. I used to use it frequently, but now I don't use it anymore after just a lot of things that happened. It could have gone really worse for me, but I mean, he was a teacher, so I mean, I'm sure he wanted to keep his job still. And you know, I always kind of want to have that little fantasy of that teacher and the little student. I have problems, yeah. I'm sorry. Shit. But yeah, guys, if you're using any dating website, whether it's Grindr, Tinder, Bumble, just be careful, y'all. And I mean, if you want to hook up, fuck it, you know. Grindr, I mean, dating apps are nowadays hookup ways, you know. But just be careful, y'all. Just make sure you kind of know the person a little bit more before you meet them. You know, I heard a lot of stuff on the news where, like, a kid, you know, I think he was, like, 13 years old, who met up a guy on Grindr. And it ended up being 5 guys who gangbanged him and killed him and kidnapped him and all kinds of shit. So that's concerning. And this shit can happen to me. I'm not just talking about underage kids. I'm talking about anyone in general. Just be careful on who you talk to online. Alright, guys. This is my story. I mean, I would like to hear y'all's Grindr stories or y'all's dating stories on Grindr. Um, and yeah, guys, subscribe to me, like my Snapchat, like my videos. Parents, be quiet.